traffic control persons, tow trucks drivers, road construction and maintenance workers, telecommunication and utility workers, and emergency and enforcement personnel. The reason for this topic this morning, we have persons out there doing road works. Not only road works, we have persons doing infrastructure, like Skelec. For the past about 3 or 4 Sundays, Skelec was out there changing over some wires. And persons tend to do not want to adhere to the signs that are in place. The sign there said no entry, or even if you said no entry, you have a person from Skelec directing traffic. And person think because maybe he's not a police officer, they don't want to adhere to it. The young lady said she gets some curse words. And persons should remember that they are there for other person's safety. If the work was going on by Skelec and no one is there, directing the traffic will have chaos and confusion. Because person will be going through and person will be coming through, nobody will stop for nobody to pass. So when we have these kind of work going on and person are there directing traffic, adhere to them. There's a reason why they're there, because in the traffic management plan, they have to put these things in place. Health and safety must be person's first priority. The garbage collectors also, when the garbage collectors are out there collecting the garbage, for instance, they might put a cone in the road to slow down the traffic, or for some reason, persons tend not to stop when they are trying to stop them. If we do not have garbage collectors collecting our garbage, what would you think would happen to St. Kitts? We won't have any visitors here because the place wouldn't smell proper for persons to come to visit. And I don't think some of you will go and do the job that some of them are doing. So when you see these persons out there doing their work, adhere to them. You can often recognize a work zone by its bright orange cones, signs, devices, and traffic control person. So if somebody's out there and then they don't just start and do the work like that, they usually send out notice. So you'll be notified in advance that this work will be happening. Yes, some person might say, okay, I don't listen to the radio, or I don't go on Facebook. But even if you don't listen to them and you see these things, because they are there for a reason. And not all roadside workers are protected by work zone barriers. For example, paramedics treated patients who have been hurt on a near road without any protective barrier. The ambulance might be dealing with someone. They are not protected because they're not going to have time to put on cones. So if you see the ambulance pull on this side and they're attending to a person or an individual, I must say, just drive with caution. Be careful when you're going through these areas. From yesterday until the 30th, Public Works is doing some work at the road by going up to the Newtown Health Center. And persons, please adhere not to park your vehicles on that road. And if you see these signs, do not move them and drive through. If for some reason and you want to go to the health center, they won't stop you. They will let you pass. But remember to adhere to these signs. Because first thing you're going to say, okay, the infrastructure of the road is bad. And then now they're trying to do it, you want to disrupt the work and cause a length of time or longer than they expected to finish. So let us adhere to these. Any concept?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We lost that call, but you can always call back. And for those of you just tuning in, the number is 662-8674. Good morning. You're live.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I think your topic is very interesting, but there's a lot of contradictions in your topic. I'm going to tell you why. I've been preaching about this matter ad nauseum. If I know the traffic rules, whoever you are, when you go on the road to do works and cut the road in half, you should first consult the traffic department. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, you are, sir.
And the traffic department should tell you, you put out your perimeter and you put somebody to guide the traffic. Remember, the road is cut in half. It's only a two-lane road. But too often, companies, private and public, and individuals are on the road. They don't put anybody to guide the traffic. Remember, cones can't talk, They can't tell the way, they can't see. I'm going to tell you two stories. A few weeks ago, I was coming to Boyd's. Flo finished their work right by the bottom of Fabian Road on the brow of the hill. The workers leave the cones and they go in the shop to drink beer. You talk to them, they start to cuss. Now here's this one. I am coming to West Farm about to approach the river a few days ago. The police pickup is coming. I stopped them. I asked them, can't you tell those people at Flo to put somebody to guide the traffic? You know what they do? They pass and they went straight. One last thing before I go. I was going down Frigate Bay Road, and the police had a tape in the road assessing an accident. I stopped. A guy come up and drive right over the police tape. I said to the police, well, what happened? You all don't talk to them. You know what the police asked me? What I'm supposed to do? Okay? I mean, whenever the police are processing an accident by law, you wait until they tell you come to. But you know what the problem be? No one is not enforcing the rules. But what I'm saying, whenever you go on the road and you cut the road in half and you create a traffic impediment, remember this, If there's an accident, you're liable. And that also goes to those taximen who keep on parking in the river in Stone Fort. And no matter what you talk, nobody doing anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carlo. When I started, I said, when there are road works, I know for sure, most of the time, persons are there directing traffic, especially if it's a big operation. Sometimes Kellock will be doing work, but they are doing it on the sidewall. So they're not out in the road, but they have the cones there. So it's not really obstructing traffic, but it's just coning off or cordoning off their workspace. That person could see that something is happening. Mm-hmm. With accident, I know when we have accident, most of the time it's two officers. And when they are taking the measurement, they stop the traffic for the officer who is doing the accident to measure the road. I don't know which part of that was conflicting when I started first. Mm-hmm. But you can call back and let me know which part of the statement was conflicting.
In the meantime, let's take this next caller. Good morning. You are live and lively.
Hey, good morning again, TQ.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. I want to shed something to the general public. That I always feel that the general public don't know nothing. Because if you're traveling on the left-hand side of the road and you're coming to like a junction, and before you pass the junction, there is a sign say no entry. That is no sign. You might put 3 cones. That means I can continue go straight. I have to turn on the road now on my left-hand side. You see them still pass the cone them and go on and continue driving, guys. Which in this height, the road block off so you cannot enter. Right? So if your road block off and you cannot enter, it is not for you to continue. It is for you to either take by the next left or the next right. Not to pass the cones them and continue driving. And that is a problem I've seen over and over again with the drivers them in thinking. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlo. That's so true. You put all these signs in no entry because you put it on the left. And if you drive on your left and something is obstructing you from the left, why go over on the right? It means your path means that you should not enter there. Mm-hmm. as the caller say, you take the first left or the first right before that sign. And the person can say, I didn't see it.
Good morning, you live.
Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
am calling a little not on the road issue. I'm calling about traffic tickets. So I've realized that at traffic, I don't know if I should say warden, but one of the persons who issues tickets on 4th Street, that particular person have been parking in one of the assigned half an hour spots for the whole day, for the entire day. I want to ask the sergeant if that is correct.
No, it is not. Once a sign say 30 minutes, it goes to everyone. Whether
Well-
you're a law-abiding citizen, whether you're officer, whether you're... Yes.
Well, I work on 4th Street, and I have an assigned parking, not on 4th Street, somewhere else. But it so happened that last week, Tuesday, I was attending a funeral, and I wanted to go into the office to do something important. It took me a little over a half an hour, and I got a ticket. I don't mind. I would pay my ticket. But yesterday, the same officer, the vehicle was parked there from, and I note, from 10:32 until about 5:10 in the afternoon. So is that officer going to give herself a ticket or multiple tickets?
Is that a question, caller?
Yes, it's a question.
I don't think the officer going to give herself a ticket.
Okay. Well, maybe you need to speak to the officer. I think I called last week. I spoke to, I think maybe it's her supervisor, and she said that she would speak to the person. That was on Wednesday. On Friday, the officer's vehicle was parked again on the side that is assigned for a half an hour. And then yesterday, again, it was parked. So I don't know. Maybe some persons are bigger than the law. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, caller.
You're most welcome.
We have another caller. Good morning, you live.
Hi. I was invited to call back about the contradiction.
Yes, sir.
If you're telling me I should do A, B, and C, and I am not doing it, and you're not enforcing the law, there's a contradiction. I mean, can you imagine, there is a dead-end road in Mattingly. I'm coming from the east to turn into the road. A guy is coming down, a pile of dirt is in front of him on the left side. He comes over on the right side and blocks me from entering. And he's making all kind of arguments. Okay? Driving and don't understand the traffic rules. If you're blocked on your side, you can't come on my side and block me. But then again, I'm telling you, remember, when you put down a cone or whatever, cones cannot talk, they cannot see, they can't tell you where, they can't tell you somebody coming. The cones can't see around the corner. And once you cut the road in half or into 3/4, the responsibility becomes yours to direct the traffic. Flow on the road in directing the traffic. Skellig doing it, Tom doing it, Harry doing it. Some weeks ago by TDC, when you come out to TDC Hardware, Skellig doing some work on the road. Nobody guiding the traffic. And you know what the funny thing? The boom of the crane hanging over your car when you're passing. But I don't think you're enforcing the laws. Whenever you're walking on the road, you go to the traffic department, you tell them what you're doing, where you're doing, and you give them the instructions. So that is law. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
You going to respond or are you going to take
When
another
a
call?
person are doing work on the road, they have to first get approval from the commissioner. So they will write and they will outline what the work is and what they're going to be doing and who will be doing, assisting with the traffic. That's how I know it is. And then the commissioner will give the approval if it is okay to go and do it.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. All right, we lost that caller. You're welcome to call back. And for those of you just tuning in, the number to call is 662-8674. In the studio with me, I have Sergeant Henry from the Traffic Department. We are taking your calls as it relates to traffic concerns and also to the topic at hand this morning. Good morning, you're live and lively.
Good morning, Chicky. Good morning, Sergeant Henry.
Good morning.
I catch the last part of that guy. I catch all of what he was saying, but it come like somebody was coming on the wrong way or something. Mm-hmm. That road that goes up there to this side, Rams Cash and Carry, that you have no right turn from out on Bodak Road, right after the traffic light. You have one way going up.
Yes, sir.
You need to come up there more often. Either you come up and you issue tickets for people coming down, or you put it that they could come down and turn you around parking lot legally. Because sometimes you're going up there and people coming down and arguing with you. You ain't see me coming. You could have stopped and let me pass, and they're on a one-way street heading the wrong direction. You understand? So I think I need to pass around here more often to see the going on. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Carla, for that.
All right, let's take this next call. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning, my boy.
Yes, Carl.
And good morning, Sergeant Henry.
Good morning.
Yes, Carl Brown here. Sergeant Henry, the gentleman that called, I think he was the first caller, with an accident. He stopped, and the police were assessing the measurement of the accident, and somebody drive over.
Yes, sir.
And that police is saying, what can they do? Right? I hope they were able to get that police number or name, that police could be cautioned. Because right away, Sergeant Henry, Michael Brown, a street policeman, that's 2 tickets. Right away there, that's pull over and 2 tickets that person's supposed to get. Right? The other thing is, I don't know. We seem to have a lot of blind people on the road, Sergeant Henry, and I think many people need to be assessed before their license are renewed or before they get a license. Because here it is. I gone to many sports. The police would block off an area that you come up and you go out an area. Now, the big police sign there is saying no entry, meaning you cannot go down. You only could come up. And many drivers are driving through, and when you try to say something to them and tell them, oh, man, see it. So how you ain't see that? Cones are there, the big police sign there, the red and white sign is saying no entry. Vehicles is coming up and they're still coming on, and then telling the driver we're coming up, we got it right away that they didn't see it. I think we have too much blind people on the road. Are gone.
Carl, I don't think we have blind people. Some persons are just lawless. They are just ignorant to the fact because they will see a sign, and I don't think if police put on a sign, they have to man it. Person should be responsible enough to know that you say no entry mean no entry. And then when the police stop them now, they're going to say, oh, I didn't see the sign. If something's on your left obstructing you, why go over on the right? Because you cannot pass there. As I always say, if a pedestrian standing up there, that means you're going to knock on the person because you didn't see the person either. They're not blaming the car, they're just lawless.
So I don't mean to laugh. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. We lost that call. 662-8674. That's 662-8674 for you to get in. We have just about 6 more minutes before we wrap up the program. Good morning. You're live and lively.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Host, and to your guest,
Good morning.
Sergeant Henry.
Yes,
I'm making some intervention in regards to a hazard. It seems to be something put place in the Island Main Road by flow.
and Public Works. And I'm doing this in memory and on behalf of the surviving family there, of the little infants who got killed in that accident. They were living right there. And I understand they make a report. Another person in the area reported the matter. I am not living in the area, but when I go there, when vehicles happen to cross over, run over that trap or whatever it is, the noise could wake up a day. And it's nuisance. It's a nuisance. And it is time I spoke to, I think it's Gilbert. He used to work at Public Works as a director of public. And for months, that nuisance hazard, noise-wise, is there. And I'm calling on Flo and the Public Works because there's nothing so difficult for them jointly to address the matter. So those families who living right there, who lost that infant, and they're still grieving and having to endure this hazard, nuisance, I want to support them. And I'm looking for this matter to address as reasonable, practicable. Thank you very much.
Before you go, Carlo, where on the Island Main Road you're speaking about?
The Island Main Road here at Half Retreat, just before you get to the Church of God. And while they're on this, there is, right there next to it, there is a drain. You know, they have the railway line and vehicles traveling from Bath here to Sandy Point. I have observed, because of the unevenness, vehicles are crossing over on the mountainside. In other words, they're going into the line of traffic in the opposite direction. And right there you have a junction. My God, if somebody just come out for some reason and they're in the process crossing over when they should be on the side. And in that area, we have quite a number of accidents. Incidentally, there is the area where my son got in the accident. And I want really to have these two matters addressed because life are in danger and people there cannot sleep well after a hard day's work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlo. I take note of that.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. All right. We lost that caller. We do invite you to call back. As a matter of fact, we're going to pause on the calls for now. We have 2 minutes, and I'll let you address what you need to address and wrap up properly.
How can a driver help protect work zone safety? The responsibility for safety doesn't solely rest on construction workers, but also include drivers passing through these zones. Here are some tips. Slow down when you're passing. As you enter a work zone, reduce your speed. Pay attention. Keep your focus on the road and your surrounding. And you must start slowing down early. Don't wait till you reach upon the cones to slow down because the cones will be a distance from the work area. So as soon as you see the cones out in the road, start slowing down. Don't wait until you're right upon the cones to slow down. By following these guidelines and working together, we can make our roads safer for everyone. Remember, safety should always be the top priority in work zone. Slow down and pay attention. That way you'll get home safely and will those workers, as well as those workers, everyone will get home safely. Thank you.
You're most welcome, and I'll see you next week, God's Spirit.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being a part of our show. Thanks for calling in, and we do hope we hear from you next week. 9 o'clock report is up next.
Too many stunt drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, drive driver. What's your emergency?